I'm Danashsri. I'm here to talk about Nike case. Okay, let's begin with case background. Note point: large cap fund waiving whether to buy Nike stock. Nike has experienced sales growth declines in profit and market share. Nike has revealed that it would increase exposure in mid-price footwear and apparel lines. It also commits to cut down expenses. The market responded with mixed signals to Nike's exchanges. So Kimmy Ford has done a cash flow estimation and asked the assistant Joanna Cohen to estimate cost of capital. The cost of capital is the rate of return required by a capital provider in exchange for forgiving an investment in another project or business with similar risks. Thus, it is also known as an opportunity cost. Since WACC is the minimum return required by capital providers, managers should invest only in projects that generate returns in excess of WACC. Okay, let's see the issues of Nike case. Single cost or multiple costs. Cost of debt, cost of equity, weights of capital components. Okay, the first thing is to whether to see single cost or multiple costs. Should Cohen estimate different costs of capital for footwear and apparel divisions? Okay, I'm here to say that I agree with the use of the single cost instead of multiple costs of capital. Why? The reason is WACC is to value the cash flows for the entire firm that provided by Kimmy Ford. Plus, the business segment of Nike basically have about the same risk. Thus, single cost is sufficient for this analysis. Moving on to cost of debt. The WACC is used for discounting cash flows in the future. Thus, all components of cost must reflect firm's concurrent or future abilities in raising capital. Cohen mistakenly uses the historical data in estimating the cost of debt. She divided the interest expenses by the average balance of debt to get 4.3% of before tax cost rate. It may not reflect Nike's current or future cost of debt. Okay, let's see. The cost of debt, if it's interned by forwarding looking, should be estimated by 1. Yield to maturity to bond, or 2, according to credit rating. The more appropriate cost of debt can be calculated by using data provided in Exhibit 4. We can calculate the current yield to maturity of the Nike's bond to represent Nike's current cost of debt. So these are the calculation of cost of debt.
Now moving on to the cost of equity, Joanna Cohen seems to use CAPM to estimate her cost of equity. Her numbers come from, her risk-free rate comes from 20-year T-bond rate, and Cohen uses average beta of 0.8, and her risk premium is 5.9. So the CAPM is equals to 10.5%. The comments is, it is no problem to use 20-year T-bond rate to represent risk-free rate. The cost of equity and the WACC used to discount cash flow of very long run. So the return a T-bond with 20 years maturity is 5.74% is the longest rate that are available. Next, the market risk premium 5.9 is also correct. Using arithmetic mean to represent true market risk premium, we have to independently distribute market risk premium. It is often found that market risk premium are negatively serial correlated. So by that calculation of WACC and CAPM, we don't really agree that Cohen uses average beta from 1996 to July 2001, which is 0.8, to be measured of systematic risk, because we need to find a beta that is most representative to future beta. As such, most recent beta will be most relevant in this respect. So we suggest to using the most recent beta estimate 0.69. So when we calculate, the cost of equity will be 9.81%. So the recommendation and conclusion, Kimmy Ford used a discount rate of 12% to find a share price of 37.27 million. This decision will lead to Nike share price overvalued by 4.82, as now is trading at 42.09, undervalued at discount rate. The discounting cash flow in Exhibit 2 with WACC is 9.27. The PB of Nike is 58.13, higher than Nike's present market share. So the growth rate is 3%, so Nike share price is undervalued. In addition to it, Nike also changed their business plan by concentrating on mid-price segment, which was overlooked for the long period of time. Thank you. Hi, I'm Maleni. I'm here to talk about Wrigleys. Wrigleys JR company has a leading market share in a stable, low technology and complex business of making chewing gum. The exciting thing about the company for this case is that the company has no debt and market value of common equity is about 13.1 billion. Wrigleys is world's largest manufacturer and distributor of chewing gum. The industry is intensively competitive and was dominated by a few large players. The revenues of the company had grown at an annual compound rate of 10% due to the introduction of new products and foreign expansion. At the end of 2001, it has a total asset of 1.76 billion and no debt. Wrigleys' stock price has significantly outperformed the S&P 500 Composite Index. So, Aurora Wrigleys uses equity market risk premium of 7% to achieve its target. Managing partner Dobrin asked Susan Chandler, an associate, to research for potential investment. Chandler did the calculation, but analysis of the same is important, and thus is the detail of the study of the numbers as given below. So, there are 5 critical problems with Wrigleys data. First of it is billion borrowing capacity, which is 3 billion. Credit rating between BB and B yield is 13%. Revenue growth rate is about 10%. Earnings growth rate is 9%. And total assets is about 1.76 billion, whereas marginal tax rate is 40%. Pre-tax cost of debt is 13%. Market risk is premium is 7%. The shares outstanding is 232 or 441 million of Wrigleys family ownership, 21% common stock and 58% Class B common stock. The company is having insufficient debt in its capital structure because bond interest is deductible for tax purpose and is generally a fixed amount for a long period of time. Some use of debt can result in greater share price for stakeholders. Companies are missing opportunities to create value for the shareholders.
Based on all info that we have, we can see that the addition of debt into the capital structure will increase the weighted average cost of capital used in their discounted cash flow analysis with the addition in cost of debt. In the view of firm's value, Wrigleys' firm present value will increase by $1 billion via tax shield from the debt's interest. The firm's market value will improve by 30%, which will be reflected in increase of share price based on current outstanding share in the market. Plus, the introduction of debt in the capital structure will improve firm's credit rating to BB to B based on change in firm's financial ratio. Looking at how the firms can utilize the debt, the hedge fund manager narrowed them down into 2 options, either using the debt to pay dividends to shareholders or repurchase equivalent amount of stocks from the debt received. This suggestion was based on their preferred active investor strategy, where they aim to swiftly reap the benefit of potential recapitalization in the stock market for their fund. We can see that the supply in the market will be reduced while the firm's value will increase. This will show that the impact are more significant if the firms use the debt to repurchase back the stock from the shareholders. Plus, the earning per share will increase as the number of shares will be decreased, hence increase the confidence of firm's strength. By paying dividends, maybe the benefit can be felt by shareholders in short term and somehow attract more investors to invest in the company. Nevertheless, by repurchasing the stock, the firms will have more voting rights and control of the company. In summary, capital restructuring will increase the value of the firm and shares in the market, which will in turn maximize the value for the firms and also the shareholder. Based on 2 possible courses of action, it is recommended for the firms to repurchase back the share from the shareholder to gain optimum benefit from the liabilities that they taken from the debt. And also, if they have any other option other than paying dividends or repurchase the stock, it is also recommended if they can use the debt for their firm's growth for the future sustainability. Thank you.
Today we are going to review Teletech Corporation, focusing on the impact of the company using a single hurdle rate, cost capital, to evaluate all its business segment, and the impact of if, let's say, the company use risk-adjusted hurdle rate to evaluate its 2 business segments. And the third issues under this company is whether the company should sell the underperforming business segment, which is a product and system. So to the background of the company, Teletech is a large regional telecommunication company with HQ in Dallas, US, with net asset of 16 billion. The company has two main business segments, which is telecommunication services, which provide long-distance cellular telephone services to residential segment. The other business segment, which is just newly acquired in 2000, is a manufacturer of computing and telecommunication equipment. For this company, top management have applying a one single hurdle rate, which is 9.3% to all capital projects. I'm going to go through on the financials of the company. There are two segments, telecommunication and product system. If we go through the telecommunication services, they are giving a beta of 1.04, which is a low risk beta. If you go through against the product and system segment, telecommunication services are the main revenue generator for the company in terms of absolute. But in terms of relative, product and system is generating the higher revenue for the company by based on the operating profit and revenue is 84%. Company beta is 1.15. Product and system, the industry itself is beta 1.36, which is deemed as high risk segment. The current assessment, the company is using a single hurdle rate, which is economic profit. Economic profit has been the single measurement for capital allocation and management promotion, the incentive compensation. So economic profit is quite important for the company in determining how the resource being allocated in the business segment. As far as the capital investment proposal is based on the net present value, which some of the issues and concern of the company. The external issues, Teletech's share performance show a poor result against the market index and against industry index, and which is affect market perception and poor financial signaling to the market, which resulted less investment to the company. But in the internal issue itself, there are some debates in the company whether the using of the single constant hurdle rate have affected the R&D of the company, which due to the unfair distribution of resources. Each segment have a different risk and rate of return. As such, by using a single constant hurdle rate have affect imperfection of the allocation of resources. And they also claim that when resource allocated to telco segment, being the higher relative return, will create value to investors. But product and system performance appear as volatile to the market. So there is a concern whether the company should divest the shareholding on this product and system performance. Little bit on the single hurdle rate benefit using single hurdle rates. It representing the whole corporation, of which incorporating the company risk and return to investors. Easier to determine economic profit and net present value of business segment. However, the problem using a single hurdle rate is that it do not take into account the risk for each segment, which is different from one another. Which is telco and business system are different. They are different two spectrum of the risk. Okay, the multiple hurdle rate are using the WACC, which is for this they are using only one beta, which is the industry at 104, and because of this, the hurdle rate are being generated based on 9.3%. If let's say we use a risk-adjusted hurdle rate, which is the multiple based on the segment, then we can see the WACC for product and system is 10.41, which is much higher than 9.3, while the WACC telco is 8.81, which is much lower than 9.3%. If let's say the WACC of the company is 9.21, which is much lower than 9.3%, which is the current hurdle rate of the company. Consideration before they using the multiple hurdle rate is by using this multiple hurdle rate, it appears that rate adjusted rate for telco is much lower compared to single hurdle rate, which support the claim that capital cost and the telco segment is much cheaper, reflecting their lower risk market profile. The telco segment have been finalized in terms of company resource allocation if based on single rate 9.3%, because at 8.81 mean they deserve a higher resource allocation for their investment in the company. However, the claim that risk-adjusted hurdle rate will attract investors to invest more in the company is not valid, considering this type of information, the WACC of each segment are not being published to the public. The market return for product system is 11%, of which the cost of capital computed under single is 9.3, and while under multiple is 10.41. As such, the basis to sell the product and system section is not being supported because the company might lose a revenue of 11% if, let's say, they decided to sell this product and system. Overall, that to implement in real life is not easy, considering that the borrowing that they obtain are not based on the segment but based on the overall financial performance. Budget allocation do appear more effectively and efficiently because of risk-adjusted hurdle rate, because we represent each segment. Again, in real life, it's not, because all the information of other like cost of debt and things like that are not available for the treasury team to compute. The CFO had to play an important role in justifying the best approach to adopt by the company to avoid lower morale in the company.